It's not over till it's over. Until I start singing. I feel like I could dodge the Thought Thief if I was quick enough. Oh, God. Are you serious? Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ghouls and goblins. Today, we'll be continuing on with our conquest of Mythic rank in MTG Arena, holding the top 100 down with Temur Giants. We'll break down the deck list, talk about the strategies, synergies, view the gameplay footage to discuss our playlines and interactions, so you as an individual can get a good feel whether or not this deck is right for you, and more importantly, your wildcards. Thanks again for your time and attention. Go ahead and leave a thumbs up on the video to show your support. Now let's get into it. Alrighty, of course, if you're looking for any information today, it can be found within the Linktree link in the description below. You can easily Google Hello Good Game Linktree as well. This is a 60 card best of one standard deck, the fourth iteration of the Giant Turns deck today. We have 4.3 average mana value within the deck, 14 creatures and 23 non-creatures, sitting at a comfortable 23 land, which I'm sure I adjusted. Oh, we did with Jwari Disruption. So it's actually 26 land because we have 3 MDFCs in here within the Seagate and the Disruption, and the 26 land total will reflect the high average mana value here. When we look at the mana symbol breakdown within the deck, you can see that we're primarily focused on our blue sources, a 68% blue deck with an even split of red-green, 22 apiece. When you are playing the deck, your main focus is to ramp to 7 mana. This is done through Cultivate and Migration Path. Cultivate is a 3 CMC. Search your library for 2 basic lands, one into the battlefield tapped, the other in your hand, then you shuffle at sorcery speed. Migration Path also at sorcery speed for an additional mana, 4 CMC. Searching our library for 2 basics, they both come into the battlefield tapped and then we shuffle. Plus we can cycle it for 2 if we don't need to ramp later on. Both of these are ideal cards to have in our opening hand with the mana to get there. This will slingshot us forward into something like Thryx, the Sudden Storm, a 4/5 with flash and flying, and spells you cast with converted mana 5 or greater will be 1 less to cast and can't be countered. This is amazing because it reduces the cost of some of our more expensive spells here in our 7 CMC slot, and they can no longer be countered, which is really, really groovy, because that's one of the risks to playing high converted mana cost spells, is that they make very nice targets for counter spells. And now if our opponent can't be countering those, that's perfect. The main spell that we want to be popping off with is Alrund's Epiphany for 7 mana, sorcery speed, creating 2 1/1 blue bird creature tokens with flying. Then we take an extra turn after this one, exiling the Epiphany. We can foretell it for 6 mana, so a way to reduce it even further, and we can cast Alrund's Epiphany for 5 mana if we have it foretold, and we have Thryx Sunstorm in play, which is quite satisfactory. So, that's basically what you want to do. I always love to have creatures in play before I play Alrund's Epiphany. If we need to balance our opponent's field state, we can use something like the Cyclone Summoner. It's a 7/7, and when Cyclone Summoner enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, return all permanents to its owner's hand except for giants, wizards, and lands. This is going to be great because we have Giant Tribal in the deck. The only card that we have here that's not a giant is Brazen Borrower, and that's something that we do want to bounce back to our hand, which is great. We dropped Wolfwillow Haven from the deck. It didn't have as much synergy as we would have liked. Yes, the ramp was better, but now we've incorporated that Borrower instead of the Wolves, losing the ramp, but we have a tempo play through the Petty Theft now instead, and we'll talk more about that in a second. So the Summoner will bounce all of our opponent's goodies back to their hand. It will leave Thryx in play, and the turn after that, then you can Epiphany to get that extra turn, and you should probably be able to get the win that way. Of course, we do have the Borrower, which I mentioned. It's a 3/1 with flash and flying, can only block other creatures with flying. This is great to play on top of a reduced cost Alrund's Epiphany because you get another turn right away. It's a great attacker, 3/1. It's got the 2 1/1s beside it. You're dealing 5 damage, and you know that's a considerable amount, especially if you know you've got Thryx in play as well. Now, you know you're up to 9 damage there. So not only does the Petty Theft for 2 mana at instant speed, the Adventure, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, you know, help us set up those future turns without worrying too much of the aggro equation, because there are lots of mono whites, there's lots of mono red, even Naya tokens is around. So this will help us try to mitigate their damage output onto our health points. Speaking of that, we do have Bonecrusher Giant as well. This is great because it's a giant, it survives all of our shenanigans. It's a 4/3, and whenever it becomes a target of a spell, it's going to deal 2 damage to that spell's controller. Big whoop. What's great here is Stomp for 2 at instant speed. Damage can't be prevented this turn. Stomp deals 2 damage to any target. Much like the 2 CMC Petty Theft, this can be used on our second turn to interrupt or slow down our opponent's game plan, setting us up for that turn 3 Cultivate, which we were so focused on early, and seeing as that is part of our main objective, we want to accomplish that with some vigor. Of course, we have more removal to set us up for victory within something like Battle of Frost and Fire. When it enters play, 4 damage to each non-giant creature and each planeswalker, which is great. Again, you do not want to cast this on top of your borrower. That's the only thing that'll die, but there's been worse tragedies in history, especially with me at the helm. Next up, we scry 3, and then finally, whenever you cast a spell with converted mana cost 5 or greater, draw 2 cards and then discard 1, which is actually very, very good within the deck. Combining the scry 3 with the draw effect can really set you up with some cool turns. So there's lots of ways to interrupt our opponent, whether it be the Petty Theft, the Stomp, Battle of Frost and Fire, even the Flash Blocker through Thryx, Sunstorm, does quite a bit of good to your strategies. And then of course, finally the Cyclone Summoner to bounce everything back, and then allowing us to play the Alrund's Epiphany while having some value in play already to close out the match. We have Glimpse the Cosmos. Now this is my favorite card in the deck. Sorcery speed for 2, looking at the top 3 cards of our library, putting one of them into our hand and the rest in the bottom of our library in random order. And then if we control a giant, we can recast it for 1 mana and then exile it. This means we can cast it 8 times throughout the match because there's 4 copies and we double cast them. That's so good. Each time looking at 3 cards, whether we need removal, we need the bounce effect, we need ramp, we need the wipes, we need double turns, you can find it with Glimpse the Cosmos, and it's so cheap as well, right? 2 mana. Secondly, you cast it for 1. It's going to be really easy to cast your Epiphany at a reduced cost. Glimpse for your second Epiphany, and then just kind of chain those together because you'll have a giant in play. And it works better than it should, honestly. We have 2 copies of Jwari's Disruption in the deck as well. Instant speed for 2 mana, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. Ruins on the opposing side coming in tapped as the MDFC land. The disruption here is really just to counter the Salt Thy Ultimatum deck, right? Emergent Ultimatum is such a pain in my ass. Pardon my French, children. But it's a good card and it drives me insane. And the deck, really thrives against most of the other meta decks, which is glorious. It's great to play. It's really fun because it's A, unique, and B, beats them. But the Ultimatum deck can really get us, and Jwari's Disruption just gives us an answer. We can identify that that's what they're playing. We can use Glimpse, we can use the Scry through Frost and Fire to help find a disruption, and they're always casting it as soon as they can. They're so eager to use their Ultimatum, and this will help shut that down for us. We've got a single copy of the Seagate Restoration while we're on the point of MDFC land. For 7 mana, look at the top 7 cards of our... that's a different card. For 7 mana, draw cards equal to the number of cards we have in our hand, plus 1, and then for the rest of the game, we'll have no maximum hand size. Much like Glimpse of the Cosmos, this is going to help us draw, 3, 4, 5 cards. Hopefully, one of them's an Epiphany. Some of them are more glimpses, and we should be good from there. Again, it's just a single of in the deck. It's not a requirement, but it certainly helps when you top deck at late game. Of course, it is the Seagate Reborn coming in tapped unless we pay 3 life. If it's in our opening hand, sure, just play it as your turn 1. That's going to be just fine. I believe that's everything. We've got the land here, we've got some pathways, which is great, and the triomes. There's no scry lands, even though it would be amazing in the deck. I think that we would be dropping our pathways for triomes, and that's something that we can definitely talk about in the future, and might even be better than the pathways because the scries, right? Helping you find that cultivate, helping you find the Brazen Borrower or the Bonecrusher Giant when you need it, can be a key component to winning these matchups. So as we progress, maybe that's where the deck goes, right? Because the main board, you know, the creatures, the spells, everything that's in there, absolutely perfect. The land is getting better every time we play it, and you know, the mana sources are very well balanced, and I think the scry could be an additional bonus to the deck. We would cut the pathways, not the basic lands, because the Cultivate Migration Path, they only pull basics, so we definitely need to be keeping enough basics in the deck to have the full ramp effect that we want. With that being said, you know, we're min-maxing at this point, and that is the deck. Your general strategies and synergies have been outlined for you. Ramp as hard as you can into things like Thryx, then your Summoner, then your Epiphany, right? You can cast Glimpse to help you get there, survive with Borrower, Bonecrusher Giant, Battle of Frost and Fire, and even Thryx can chump block as well, which is pretty cool at flash speed. So that's the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. We've got an amazing win rate and some really cool matchups for you guys today in the top 100 Mythic rank in MTG Arena, playing against not only the best decks in the game, but the best players. Cheers. Make sure to like the video to help support. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for even more content. Check out our link tree for all of our goodies, affiliate links if you want to help support the channel. We have giveaways and competitions that you can enter through that as well. Thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Let's break down today's gameplay footage. Going first, Triome in hand with the ramp. 2 slow lands though. Hopefully we top deck a third. Running 25 or 26 lands in the deck, so it shouldn't be a problem. Plenty of mana here. Loving those sleeves. You can buy them through our Grey Viking Games link if you love them as well. So we don't get the land. I'm going to play slow. And that way we know we can hit our Cultivate. On curve. 2 copies of Thryx is, you know, not the greatest, but whatever. We can use it discard with the 3rd phase of our binding or battle. I'm referring to it as binding because that's how good I want it to be. Right? I want it to be as good as the binding of the old gods. Of course, I'm referring to Battle of Frost and Fire, and whenever we cast CMC 5 or greater, we get to draw 2 cards and then discard 1. I mean, we don't really need these lands, but with another Cultivate coming up, it doesn't much matter. We are dropping 5. I only play Thryx and not the Cultivate if we draw a land off the top. If not, I don't think it's worth the risk, and we just, you know, keep thinning the library looking for that wipe. Our opponent's playing Naiad tokens, a deck I just featured on my channel. So we need to get into the Cyclone Summoner as soon as possible, which means... you know, it can stay if we get the land. If not, it's gonna be the ramp, right? Which is a big hit next turn, right? Frighteningly large. Yep. I think it would be cool to bounce a Toski if they were about to play it, but we can't really know that, and you know, we're bouncing everything anyways, so what's it matter? They do take Vigilance even though they tapped. Good on them. That is a big boy beatdown, baby. Fortunately for us. Woo! Woo! Right, that's gonna really help out our game plan. We've got a Borrower as well. Alrund's Epiphany. Our Thryx is ready as well. I think I might Thryx before Alrund, just so Alrund can get a lot of damage in. And we're looking for more Cyclone Summoners off the top, just to keep the reset alive. Let's take our hit. Okay. End our turn. We flash in Thryx. They play a land plus a 1-drop. I bet they make a cat here. Pay life for it as well. What are they casting for 1 red mana, though? Oh, but they have the Sentinel, so they've got 2 mana available. Let's remember that. They tap the Sentinel, they tap the cat. Oh, it's a second spirit, too. Let's see if they attack with the first spirit that doesn't have summoning sickness. Oh my gosh, they do. Hurts. I'm so sorry. We block this. Shut the Borrower just as the creature. We all round it up. Take a draw with a glimpse of the cosmos. Good game. That finds us more juice, and we just lay in on top of it. Number 99, the great one, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the Canadian shout out to Mr. Gretzky himself. Our opponent plays first, lots of land with the Cultivate, and the Great Equalizer, also known as Cyclone Summoner. And my favorite card in the deck, Glimpse the Cosmos, and we just pull Thryx. Could this get any better? We could find a wipe. We're looking for a wipe that's not Cyclone Summoner. We could like use a Battle of Frost and Fire. Is it mono green? I somehow doubt it. It feels like it could be. Borrower's fine, right? We can toss the Giant so they can't henge. They have the land. Hopefully not. No, they don't. Yes, I just want to stomp that, but we have to just like ramp city. That puts us to 4. Next turn we played a 5. And the turn after that, 7. So it's Thryx, then Cyclone Summoner. Sentinel. We're down to 12. That's risky bisky. Pass our turn. I think they're bricking here, which is great for us. They do have the Sentinel, which is ramp, plus 2 Innkeepers. It's just somehow see us dying. Right? They drop 2 +4/+4s. I think those cost 2 mana, though. +3/+3 for 1 mana. They do get the Beast in play. They take the draw. Double draw, in fact. Which is great. Let's make sure we put a stop in, because I do not want to miss this drop. Because we'll lose the game if we do. We can block and attack here, actually, with it. That's great. Stopping a little bit of damage. Hopefully they don't have anything to deal with it. Okay. I thought they had an unsummon or something. I was like, no frickin' way. Alright, let's bounce him back. And then this should be the start of something special. We've got lots of adventure in hand. Plenty of value here. One of my favorite decks this set that I've been working on. You know, I'm not seeing anyone else playing Temur Giants. They all flock to the ultimatums. But I just like some good old-fashioned Giant with adventure. You know, the Brazen Borrower is the only non-giant here, but it still works great with the Summoner because you can Petty Theft, play the Borrower, Summoner, get the Borrower back, re-Petty Theft. So that's quite a story to tell. I think our opponent might not be so happy with that play. Oh, it's key in the house. That's indestructible blocker. Right, that's not so bad. I mean, well, it does nothing, but so we're hitting for 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, we're so close to lethal. We are ultra close to lethal. Send out some love to our opponent. Let's bounce Toskies. Big hits. Land and play. I do want to stomp. We just need to save 4. That leaves us with 1. So we can actually glimpse here, which is great. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Oh, and we already played land. End turn. Cool, cool, cool. You just gotta love seeing those Bone Daddies in hand. We've got some stomping to do. Sentinel out. Right, the Reach blocks Thryx, and now they need to block the Summoner. They could have Giant Killer in hand, right? That's something that this deck definitely uses. It would annihilate our Cyclone Summoner. Let's see, though. And again, we just have lethal in hand as well, unless they're gaining some form of life here. This is a Bant version of the Toski deck, which I also love. Right, you get access to some pretty cool things. They do the dirty. They do the dirty. I knew they had it. I'm gonna do the dirty too. We had more. We could have glimpsed for a 4th Bonecrusher. Yeah. Number 81. I don't know who number 81 is, you guys. It's me. It's HGG. Let's play another match. Going first. At least we have a path. I have to say that with the new changes to the deck, I'm loving it. We've increased the land. We've added Jwari Disruption. Trimmed a little bit of the fat. We had before Wolfwillow Haven for turn 2 ramp, which I did. I loved it. But when you're just immediately bouncing it back to your hand with the Summoner and having to replay the Haven again, it's not as good as I want it to be. We've also dropped Storm's Wrath, using Brazen Borrower now instead. This works in conjunction with the double turn very, very nicely. Okay, so we're going to battle the heck out of this guy next turn. It's all about the islands within the deck. We only need 1 green source to ramp, and we need 1 red source for the removal. The rest of the deck, all blue. So you may see it as a Temur deck, and it's like, wow, it's so hard to play this 3-color deck, but it's a blue deck. That is good. That is a hot drop. But it's not as hot as this. Let's clean it up. Or else we were about to take 8 damage. We did have the Borrower, though, so we could have stopped it all, but I'd rather just send him to the grave. Now we get the Scry 3, looking for Alrund's Epiphany. Glimpse the Cosmos. This is a top 600 player using cards I've never seen before. I'm just kidding. Is this one of my free-to-play decks? Look at this. 3 lands out of the way. Hallelujah. Let's just keep thinning it, I guess, right? Why not? We can petty theft that whole thing. Those 3 lands, wow. And we shuffled too, which kind of sucks because they could be right back to the top. It is what it is. Horn Beetle. Cool, cool, cool. It goes to a 3/3 here. I'm gonna bounce this before combat, right? Because at the beginning of combat. Yeah. Yeah. Just so the Horn Beetle doesn't get the token. They could have something with haste for 2, and, you know, I'll be sad at that point, but I doubt it. When we play our summoner, not only do we bounce our wipe back to our... Oh no, the wipe fizzles. Shoot. Right. But we get the draw at least. Oh well. Badge. Needed that back in my hand. Cost the land. We have a counter spell, but they've got 5 mana, so it'll have to be on their second spell played this turn. Using the disruption because I hate Sultai Ultimatum. Right, and that's a deck that can actually get us if we don't have either, you know, the world's greatest draw. And they have it. They have it. What a jerk. I guess. Just get rid of it. They play the spear. That's fine. You know, it's just not worth it. Okay, so we can deal some damage here. Just thin it out. Still have our counter spell. It's sitting on like 14 lands here. A little ridiculous, but we'll get there. Only 36 cards left in our deck, so they're going to be eaters, right? Only 22% chance to draw a land. So that should be fine. This is perfect for us as well. Right off the top. And that's why we thin our library of the non-lands. Don't you dare do this to me. I'd like to keep that Borrower. But the Dreamstalker still does damage. That's heartbreaking. All of a sudden, that Shadow Spear is ultra annoying. What have I done? We let it hit play. Should have countered the heck out of that spear. HGG! Yo, it's not really important. It doesn't really matter at all. Moments idiot. We gotta go for it. Okay, that's fine. Unless they have a second. Nice. This is really bad for us all of a sudden. We need to top deck. That Scry's gonna help, but jeez Louise. Way too risky. That Bonecrusher Giant's super annoying too. They're only at 4 life. Shoot. The battle doesn't do it. We should have taken Petty Theft. The draw through Battle of Frost and Fire will do good. Keep the land in hand to discard. Oh no. I did not expect that Shadow Spear to come out like that. Wow. And then they probably play Giant too. Thank goodness for all the mana we have. And thank goodness they didn't play that Giant. We need something good under that Borrower too. Okay, deep press. We have 4 mana. Three life, so risky. They go in with a Warden, which is fine, right? We can borrow that without being punished. And then a Beetle. We bounce the Warden now, so the Beetle doesn't get the token. Disruption is fine. Summoner is godlike. Glimpse is pretty good. Pass our turn. Maybe we get a counter off if they double play. I'm a little worried. Ooh. Worried indeed. That's lethal. That's absolutely lethal. One shy. Okay. Wow. All because I didn't deal with that spear. That's incredible. We just got beat by what I can only describe as a limited deck. No! Good game, bro. Very well deserved. I enjoyed that. The little things, and I did not expect that Shadow Spear to make that much of an impact. All right, we're gonna try to shake that last smash off. We're gonna counter Shadow Spear this match if they play it. And we don't want that anywhere around the board, apparently. No, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Big Boy Road deck, mono black. 2 land off the top. Actually, not that bad. Mono black, maybe. Interesting. We're gonna need to survive. Right, so that means turn 2 disrupt. Just so we don't get super milled. Right, because they do trigger on top of each other. More land and ramp. Not that bad. We've got the cards in hand to make an impact. Do you guys just love Cradle of Filth? Can't get enough. Just in case you're curious as to what I was listening to. Just a banger. Wow, look at this freaking hand. Do we need more land though, right? Just in case we get it. 3 summoners is like, what's going on? I don't want to Epiphany before the summoners though, really, right? It is Big Boy Rogues. They just got their blue source though. I had no idea. Two Bonecrushers in play is pretty cool. I mean, they do have that new -3/-3 Crippling Fear or whatever, which is annoying. More land. Oh, they get an Epiphany. No! Don't you dare do this to me. They take 2 to kill the giant. Let's clean up. Kill the crab. It's important. Just looking for that land. I guess they've milled so many of our lands that we could get caught with our pants down. Wow. And we know that they're gonna mill too, so it's like, why not just leave it all there? Who cares? I know they're gonna counter it. So we may as well have them counter the cheaper spell. Rather than spending 3 mana, we'll only spend 2. And that will leave us a Borrower to flash in. Huh. Maybe we'll just play it. We have 17 life, 37 in deck. I think we're doing just fine. That's what I said last match, though. Shut your mouth, HGG. It's not over till it's over. Until I start singing. I feel like I could dodge the Thought Thief if I was quick enough. Oh, God. Are you serious? This is why I needed to shut my mouth. Thryx is cool. Lethal's cool too, though. Yeah! Woo! That was close. That was close. Going first against Yorion with no ramp in hand. Let's keep it, just because the Triumph's there. Hopefully we pull a ramp spell, LOL. Well, that's not it. Let's do a reverse ramp. Hashtag foretell. It's actually even better than reverse ramp because you are getting it out of your hand if they get into your hand for exile or discards effects. Wolf Willow. Oh no, they foretell as well. Wow, we're not even drawing land. like at all. If we don't pick up a land here, and I have a lot of land in this deck, there's no way we brick. I absolutely don't believe it. It's not the right land, and we still can't do anything, but by golly. Oh, here comes Omen. Or Behold, that's good too. That's something that could potentially go in the deck, but I just like Glimpse because it's replayable, I think. They're doing the do. I mean, if we can pick up a second blue source, that would be ideal. LOL. If not, this is going to be certainly a terrible match for us. Even here, we're just looking for a blue land. Something. We have to progress somehow. If we could bounce that Wolfwillow Haven, that would be ideal. Again, they're ramping. They're going to get 7 ultimatum before us. Not that I even ultimatum. That's great. Good stuff here. We do have Jwari's Disruption, potentially. At least we can clean the field. Right? At least. Could be a counterspell here. They could have their own Jwari's Disruption. Alright. They Omen for their draw. It's fine. If they have the juice, we're super screwed. Right, we've got no counter up. They've got 7 mana. They just used the Sea God. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we need lands. They make a second Sea God. So it's that not hitting the land drops for the ramp that screwed us really bad. Because we're dead next turn. Right, we're just 1 land back now. Which is like absolutely heartbreaking. Let's pass our turn. We're still super screwed. Our stuff taps, but we're playing in with flash, so that's fine. This also doesn't matter much. They can't take. All they can take is Migration Path or Battle. I mean, Battle's fine, but it doesn't matter that much. They see that I can chump block. They could have an answer for it. We needed that land on top. We messed that up. Oh, good game. They just get us. Ouch! Now that is an old-fashioned kind of beating up, and, you know, that Yorion deck is just OPAF, right? Alrighty, so the deck slaps. I'm loving it. A couple tough matchups, sure. You can't win them all, but I think that with an original deck like this, I'm pleased. I'm really, really happy. I know that we could potentially upgrade it more with the Scrylands like I talked about earlier, and maybe we will do that in the future. And, you know, that's kind of how these things go. I think I've got the deck perfect. I'm like, you know what? I've edited my favorite deck. It's great. We're gonna blast off with it, go into the moon, and then I finish it. We perform great, but as soon as, like, my brain is broken, I can't let good enough be. It's always, how can I improve that? How can I make that better? And I think our next step is the Scrylands, and I'm worried what comes to my mind after I add the lands. You know what, right? What comes next, HGG, right? So, you know, all of the support on the channel recently has been amazing. It's extremely clear to me that you guys want the top Mythic gameplay. You want to see, you know, new decks in Mythic, right? When I'm in Platinum, when I'm in Diamond, views down. When I'm in Mythic, views up. And I'm still at the point where we're barely surviving off ad revenue. You know, it's cool, but it needs to be better. So watch as many videos as you can. Help support the channel financially through Patreon, other things that you can find in the link tree, whether it be buying into the AM swag or your day-to-day goods just through Amazon as well. Every percentage point helps. Thank you guys so much for going out of your way to help support, because it allows me to grow the community with the giveaways, the competitions, the coaching sessions of my time and stuff. So really cool things, and it's all thanks to you. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you soon with another Strixhaven theory crafting video. I think tonight's video is Prismari. I think we hit up Prismari tonight, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. Don't miss it, and we'll see you soon. Peace.